Hello friends, today we'll be studying about forests. Forest is the unit 4 of your geography textbook, The Environment of Pakistan by Humanas Sethi. And under forest, today we'll be dealing with their types and their distribution in Pakistan. So let's jump right in. Now, forests are undoubtedly a blessing. A lot can be said about their importance. They not just contribute to the beauty of our planet, but are also homes to a number of interesting species. Forests provide raw material for a number of wood-based industries. Hence, they are a gateway for economic growth and development. They supply fruit, fuel, provide recreation, prevent soil erosion, and many more uncountable benefits to mankind and other species that inhabit this earth. Hence, it is no surprise that their conservation is extremely important for us today. Now talking about the types of forest. There are basically two types of forest, productive forest and protection forest. Now one-third of the forest area in Pakistan is covered by the productive forest and the rest is covered by protection forest. Now what are productive forests? Productive forests are actually natural forests. They grow on their own. Then the tree density is also very high. The trees are very dense. They have a lot of leaves and the forest canopy is closed. If you talk about canopy means, the top portion of the forest. If you look at the forest from the top, the crowns of the trees are such that, the forest would seem to be very closed. The branches of those trees, they overlap one another, and there is not much space for, the light to pass through. That sort of a forest is called as a forest that has a closed canopy. Now, these forests have great commercial value and they provide timber and other products as well. Now, you can have a look at the picture. So, you see, this is a picture of a productive forest where you see the branches, overlapping one another. And if you look at this forest from the top, the crowns of the trees would be such that it will seem to have a closed look. Now, talking about protection forests are those forests that are mainly planted by people and they are planted in rows and they do not have significant commercial value and they do not supply valuable species of wood either, but they protect the soil. They prevent soil erosion and they provide a pleasant environment by lowering the temperature and by providing shade. And where do we see these forests? We see them planted across railway lines, roads, and parks. So they are a pleasant sight to look at and also provide shade and a beautiful environment. So here is the picture. We have witnessed them several times. They line our roads, they line our railway tracks. So this is all about the types of the forests in Pakistan. Okay, now let's come on to the types of forests in Pakistan, their regional distribution and the importance and also their description. So if you want, you can open your page number 64 of your textbooks, figure 4.3, there's an entire list, but memorizing that list as it is very difficult, that whole table. So if you learn it this way, keeping the picture of these forests side by side, you're less likely to forget it. And you'll not have to memorize their description, but if you have this picture in your mind, you will be able to retain it and write it on your own, right? So number one is alpine forests. Where are the alpine forests situated? They are found in the northern areas like Chitral, Dir and Kohistan. The trees have stunted growth, meaning they are short-heighted, they are not very tall because they do not get a lot of sunlight and the temperature there is also very low. Now the roots of these trees, they try to spread sideways so as to get better grip and also for nutrition. Why? Because where are they? They are situated in mountainous areas and they need to stand firm. So for that, they need to move sideways. Okay. And their branches are also upwards. Look at this picture. The branches are upwards, pointed upwards towards the sky. Why? Because they want to attain as much sunlight as possible. Okay. Now let's look at, where these alpine forests are situated in Pakistan. Now let us look at this map. This is also there in your textbook. If this is unclear, you can refer to your textbook. Look at this pink color here in the key. it shows alpine forests. So this is the location of alpine forests in Pakistan. They're situated in the extreme north, and we also discuss the areas where they're situated: extreme north areas, Chitral, Dir, and Kohistan. So whenever you get such a question in your exams or tests, such patches marked, and the examiner asks you what type of forests are found in this area, so you should be able to identify that alpine forests are found in this area. Now, the second type of forest, coniferous forest. These coniferous forests are situated in the northern areas of Pakistan. In the KPK, that is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they are found in Abbottabad, Mansehra, Kohistan, Shangla, and Swat. They are also found in Rawalpindi, Islamabad, and Murree, and also on the Balochistan mountains, including Quetta and Kalat divisions. Now, how are they? The description of this forest. They are evergreen, okay, and they do not turn their color yellow even during the season, autumn season, okay, and they survive in very low temperatures. They have a conical shape. See, if you look at this picture, they give you the look of a cone, and they've got sloping branches. Their branches are, sloping downwards, and the purpose of these sloping branches is that if the snow falls and it accumulates on top of them, it would just slide down. And they've got very small and thick leathery needle-shaped leaves, so as to check transpiration, the loss of water through transpiration. We all know that the leaves lose out water through transpiration, so they have to minimize the loss of water, and for that purpose, nature has given them this sort of a shape, that is needle shape. So there's less leaf fall also, so the amount of humus that is formed on the ground, that is also less. What is humus? It's the top layer of the soil, which is the most nutritive layer. So there's less leaf fall, so there's less humus formation. And what is the importance of this forest? They provide timber. That is, the wood of this forest is used for construction purposes, for furniture making, for making boxes. Then they also protect the environment. They provide for flood control. They offer breeding grounds for birds and wildlife. They attract tourists, so they contribute to the tourism industry as well, and obviously they provide scenic beauty as well. Now, on the map of Pakistan, look at where the coniferous forests are found. This green portion top here, okay? So they are covering almost all of the northern portion. Alpine forests were found in patches, but if you are given a big broad patch like this, then definitely it has to be the coniferous forest, because they're found in the entire KP, then in Islamabad, Murree, and all those areas that we just discussed, right? Then they're also found in the Balochistan, in the mountains of Balochistan, in the Quetta district, and also the Kalat district. So you have to keep that also in your mind. Now let's talk about the tropical thorn forest or the RAKH forest. Now the picture itself is showing you, how barren this land is, right? And the kind of vegetation it sustains. So you can see such vegetation in Punjab plains, southern and western Balochistan, and in the Sindh plains. Okay, and these trees have very low height, 6 to 8 meters. They are thorny, they have a lot of thorns, and the wood is very hard. The roots go very deep because they have to search for water. Which means, or which tells us that obviously these areas do not receive abundant amount of rainfall. But the vegetation is also very scanty. You will not see a lot of trees here. Okay, I mean, you would not see a lot of leaves here. They're not very green. Okay, they are hardwood trees because of water shortage. Now, what is the purpose or what is the importance of these forests? They provide for firewood. Okay, meaning they provide for fuel. Now let us have a look at where these tropical thorn or rock forests are found. So it's this green area, right? And we already discussed that they are found in the plains of Sindh and the plains of Punjab, and they're also found in southern and western Balochistan. So you can see the southern part of Balochistan and also the western parts of Balochistan. They're all covered with these types of forests. So if you get such a patch, okay, in your papers, where the entire Sindh plain and the Punjab plain area and the southern part of Balochistan, plus a little part of western Balochistan is also covered, and it has to be the tropical thorn or the RAKH forest. So the next type of forest are the riverine or the BELA forests, and with the name itself, it's easy to learn their description and the location. So they are located in the river Indus and its tributaries. They basically line the river Indus and its tributaries. They are linear plantations, meaning they grow in rows or in the form of a line, and along the banks of the rivers. These species are high yielding. They are commercial forests, and they provide for the hardwood species. And shisham and marble, the wood. These are the names of the wood. Okay, shisham and marble, and these are important. Why? Because they are used for making agricultural implements and also for making furniture. So these type of forests are the easiest to locate. So you just have to follow this blue line, and you know what this blue line is? It's the river Indus. So it is going to line, these lines that you see, see in the key, if you find for the riverine or the Bella forest, so this is the key for the riverine or the Bella forest. And if you find such an area marked on the map, then obviously it has to be the riverine or the Bella forest. Okay, now the irrigated forests. So the irrigated forests are the Changamanga, sorry for the spelling error, near Lahore, Van Makran in Thal, Chichawatni in Sahiwal district, Ghulam Muhammad and the Guddu barrages. Now they are of economical importance. They are planted in large blocks of the same species, meaning one species is planted on a large area of land. And what are the species that are found in the irrigated forest? It's shisham, babul, eucalyptus. Such species are normally preferred. Okay. And what is the purpose of these forests, or how important are they? They provide for timber, they provide for the firewood, and when they are planted in a linear form, so they also provide shade. So, looking at the location of the irrigated plantations, so it is indicated by a dot. So where and all you find these dots. So number one is Chichavatni, Changamanga. Number two is Chichavatni. Number three is Carnival. So in the whole series goes on and on. Number five is Thal that we already discussed, and number seven is the Guddu Garage here. Okay, number seven is the Guddu Garage here, and this also in the Hyderabad region, right? So these dots that you get marked, they will be the irrigated plantations. Okay, now the mangrove forests, you have to listen to this very carefully because you get a lot of questions from mangrove forests, the importance of these forests, where are they found, their location, etc. etc. So they are found where in the coastal areas of Sindh and Balochistan in the deltaic region. You find them a lot. So you look at this structure, they have their roots dipping into the salty seawater, okay, where the river meets the Arabian Sea. That is the place where you will find these mangrove trees. Now, how are they? The description of these trees, they have broad leaves with drip tips, okay, so that the moisture, the water can drip down. Then they have a leathery texture. The leaves have got a leathery texture. These trees are not very high. They are low trees. They are actually shrubs, and their roots spread into the seawater, and they survive in the seawater, salty water. They have that ability of surviving in the salty water. Now, the general height is 3 meters, but in good waters, in better waters, they can rise up to 6 to 8 meters as well. They have a stunted growth in the Indus and the Hum Delta region because of water pollution. What happens here is the industrial pollution and the pollutants, they are all dumped into this area. So that leads to water pollution and also the death of mangroves. So there are very limited species found in that area wherever there is pollution, but they are extremely important and they need to be conserved. Why? Because they provide for firewood, they provide for timber, especially for the coastal communities. They are breeding grounds for fishes, for shrimps, and the leaves that fall off, they are food for camel and livestock. And the fallen leaves are nutrition for marine life. They protect the coastal line from erosion, because they keep the land intact. So, what sort of erosion happens during floods, that is checked as with the help of these mangroves. And they also absorb, the shock waves of the tsunamis and the earthquakes. They are also a barrier against storms, and they also, absorb the, decrease the intensity of the wave action. by holding the land intact. There are multiple benefits of mangrove forests, and this is the reason why mangrove forests need to be conserved. So if you are asked to search for the mangrove forest, where will we look? We look at the base, where the river joins the sea. So this is the place. This deltaic region is the place where mangroves are found. The small portion here. Now, just to make this topic a little bit interesting for you guys, and I thought that this would amuse you, just to have a look at the trees that we were talking about. So the barbel tree, it looks like this, and shisham tree, it looks like this, and this is the mahogany, and this is the kikar. So kikar is a hardwood tree, and all these trees are very beneficial, especially for commercial uses. Barbel, shisham, mahogany. A lot of furniture is made out of them. Having a look at this will help you keep the names of these trees in your mind. Now, if you look at this picture here, so this is the deodar. Now, deodar is a national tree of Pakistan, and look at how beautiful this tree is. And it is also used for constructional purposes, in the making of furniture and other items. So, with this, we come to the end of today's discussion. I hope it was beneficial for all of you. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment box down below. And till my next video, I'm Nida Umar signing off. Take care of yourselves and also of your loved ones.